Hello from Gardening at Douentza and welcome to a very messy kitchen because I'm just back from a spell abroad and the orchids are all waiting to be watered. So I've amassed a number of them here and I'm just about to go through them, but I have seen some nice developments. Now, what we're actually looking at here is mostly Nepenthes, which have just been watered, and that because my daughter forgot to water them when I was away, so the leaves are looking quite droopy, but I hope they'll be okay. But the plant that I suppose jumps out is my Broughtonia, which is in full flower at the moment, and quite hard to see with the sun behind it, but there we go. I have 4 blooms. The oldest one, this one here at the back, is just beginning to brown, but the other 3 are still looking good. Now this is Broughtonia negrilensis, which I bought in February this year, not in spike, and I'm delighted that it has decided to flower for me. And the second Broughtonia I bought at the same time also has a spike, but that hasn't opened its blooms yet. Now it's gorgeous, isn't it? Broughtonia is in the Cattleya alliance, and this plant is generally classified as a miniature, which you can see from looking up there at the plant on the mount. Well, it's actually quite difficult to see that. Very, very nice, pretty flowers. I hope I can do as well with it next year. And what else do I want to show you? Rodriguezia, still in full flower with its 2 spikes. Open. That one has only 2 blooms and this one has 3 blooms with those amazing spurs and those amazing aerial roots that take no trouble at all to green up with a drop of water. Doing really well. Over here, just past the messy Nepenthes, is my Gongora, and its 3 spikes are still coming. Now I did get a warning from Terry TJ Moore that Gongora of course needs lots of moisture, and mine was moist when I went away on holidays. It's sitting in pure sphagnum, but there was a real danger that those spikes would blast since it didn't get any water for the last 2 weeks. It's almost dry now, so I'm going to water it again, but I think so far so good. I'll just be fingers crossed. And actually, as I look at it, look down here, there's a 4th spike coming out through the hole at the bottom. So yeah, it's doing really well. Now we're looking at the cutest of cuties, and this is Epidendrum Haiku Twinkle, which I bought last September. And it was bought as a flowering size plant, and that's because I got fed up trying to source Epidendrum ilsa, which is one of its parents, and in the end I went for this, the hybrid. And I know there are lots of species snobs out there, but really, you know, you can't beat a good hybrid for ease of flowering, and this one has done really well. Okay, so I have that spike there, which is just opened. Gorgeous. And I have 3 more spikes. I have over here this one, and behind it this one, which is just opening, always very hard to see. And then the 4th one is, there's the 4th one in there. So this is going to be brilliant. Now I'm not exactly sure how long this has been in flower. It was just opening as I left on holidays 2 weeks ago, and I did ask my daughter to send me a picture when it came into flower, and she said it had opened, but she forgot to send me a picture, so I'm not exactly sure how long it's been open fully. But yeah, we shall see with the other spikes as they open. So Epidendrum, or Epicatanthe perhaps, Haiku Twinkle. A gorgeous little one. Over here we have 2 of the Oncidiums I bought for a mere €6 each in the supermarket, Tesco's here, just before I went away on holidays, and they're doing really well. This red one is really looking quite gorgeous at the moment, just fantastic. Now it's probably quite dehydrated. The top two buds here have blasted, but since it hasn't been watered for over 2 weeks, we'll forgive it for that. Moving down to the floor now, where some of these plants are waiting to be watered. We have the Baldan's Kaleidescope that I repotted just before I left, and I uploaded a video about it. I'll link to that video above. And the flower spike did not abort as a result of the repotting and the cutting off of the very old long rhizome. There were some questions asked. Some people asked, should I put some cinnamon on the cut rhizome? And the answer is that the rhizome I cut off was old and woody, so there was no kind of open fresh wound, so there was no need for cinnamon. Over here on this table we have Vanda Princess Mikasa Blue, who's still in full flower despite no watering for 2 weeks, and the first thing I did when I came in was sit her in some water. You can see the level there, so thank you Princess Mikasa for continuing to flower. And beside her this little mini phal that my niece gave me, which is doing well. That spike is still good, and the second spike has lost most of its blooms, but it still has 2 buds coming, so that's all good news. Over here we have my strep corner, and a sign that your streps have not been watered very well in your absence is when you come back and you find the streps just sitting there with completely limp leaves, not like these ones now because these have been properly hydrated, completely limp leaves, but when you touch the soil it's moist. So I know exactly what happened. It was the day before, the day that I was coming back, and oh my god, I forgot to water the streps. So she watered them, of course, but the plant hadn't had time to adjust and to perk up after its long spate of being unwatered. This one is doing particularly well at the moment, just a mass of purple flowers. This one is Damson Wine, one of Simon's Streptocarpus, who is a hybridizer in Wales, and I think it's probably the best looking of all of mine at the moment. There are other ones here like the Dibleys, Harlequin lace, I think, doing really well. And what I really brought you over here to show you was the Miltoniopsis, which is just looking fantastic. Now this hasn't been watered for 2 weeks, but if we look down at the medium, it already came in this really, really moist medium. And when I put my finger in there, it is still completely moist. So, yeah, it's done fine. It's been fine with that. Gorgeous. The scent of this now permeates the kitchen, and it really is a smasher. Over here, a few more of the streps. That one going over a little bit. But this one here, which is one of the Russian ones, as I recall. Oh yeah, there's a terrible name. Yeah, a Russian one. Doing very well with nice big flowers. Over here, it kind of looks like a black hole, doesn't it? Like there's nothing here. But these are the very dark black flowers of one of the Ukrainian Dimitri's hybrids, and it really is looking well. Yeah, one of my favourites, that one. And one of my frags is also in spike. Look at this Ainsworthii. See the spike there? Fantastic. And the very last thing I want to show you today is my Coelogyne Burforiense. There it is. And it has put up a new growth. Now, this is an unusual looking new growth, so I would be very hopeful that this could be my first flower spike on this one. This plant was bought from Boa Vista Nursery in Madeira last spring, so not spring, 2017, the year before, so it would be wonderful if I got some flowers from it. And just for the final shot here, we have those two, the Broughtonia negrilensis and the epidendrum Haiku Twinkle next to each other. They do look quite fantastic. I just want to let you know that I am just back from holidays, sorting out my orchids at the moment. And in my absence, there has been a magnificent response to the hashtag #GrowItForJosh project. And I have had messages from so many people with lovely photos of the fantastic plants that you're all growing for my Josh. And I really do thank you all from the bottom of my heart. It means so much that people in so many different corners of the earth are thinking of him and growing something for him. And you know, I'm going to work through these messages and we'll continue with the updates soon. I mean, I do have a number of videos I took in Greece which I will upload, and they won't have the updates on there, but the updates will continue very shortly. And what I've decided to do is to have a maximum number of 2 Grow It for Josh updates at the beginning of each video, just so that proper focus can be given to each of those 2. And, well, so people won't skip over it to get on with the video. Okay, so if you did send me through something, just bear with me a little while I sort through everything, and hopefully we'll get back to you soon. And then also in terms of working in Ireland, I want to let you know that there has been a really big uptake on that as well, a lot of responses, and I will be contacting people who've sent me private messages in due course. Okay, so just finishing up now, and my arm got very tired holding up that epidendrum. Haiku Twinkle, child of Epidendrum ilsa. So I've put it down and we're just looking at the Broughtonia now. Thanks very much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and please do consider growing something for Josh if you'd like to. It would be good if we could have as many people as possible growing something for, well, a very loved young man whose life was cut short. Thanks very much to everyone. Bye now.